Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 192, counting down to historic episode 200, where when we reach that milestone, you, the NoDQ Galaxy, will moderate the review for the entire show by your super chat, donations, and questions and topics. But tonight, we are here with this week's elite panel of the NoDQ Review. Of course, myself as moderator, Aaron Rift, the boss. Walter Cruz is back. Big G is happy to be here. And JJ, is it Williams, the Renegade?
Yes,
you are
sir.
making your debut on the NoDQ Review. What's up, JJ?
Not a whole lot, man. I appreciate you guys for having me here. You know, I was talking with frequent panelist Jeff Meacham over the week, you know, as I was getting pumped up and hyped for this. And we realized that I have not been on NoDQ proper since the first HD episode of Talk Wrestling, the post Summerslam 2010 at Bob's Big Boy. So it has been 12 years since I have appeared on this channel. So I am totally stoked and excited for this.
And that's what the NoDQ Review is about. I mean, we went through our stints of having the same panel members on. We had Vito in the beginning, but it's all about getting different people on here, different people that have contributed to the NoDQ Galaxy and whatnot. And it's good to have you on. And trust me, we'll be coming back to you because we got some hot topics this evening. Walter Cruz, I think you had last week off. What's up?
Yep. Yeah, nothing much. Good news week, so this should be a good review. I'm looking forward to it, and thanks for having me as always.
Virtue number deuce.
2.
Wait, when there's one virtue is bad, how about 2? You know what? It's almost like he's the Damien Mizdow to me, kind of. Like,
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of how we'll treat you, Walter. Big G used to be that way, but now he got married and he does his own thing. Are you happy to be here still, or is that growing on you? Are you growing distant from it?
I'm always stoked to be on.
Okay.
I mean, let's see. September will be a year since I got married. I mean, that was the first time I met Aaron and David Southworth in person. It also hurt you. So I mean, it was a fun time. Like it's we all know it's been a busy week in wrestling. So like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
All right, and we'll be back to you soon, so don't fall asleep on me now. Aaron Rift, Pepsi. Do you prefer Pepsi or Coke? Or
I like
RC Cola?
I like Diet Pepsi and I like Coke Zero. I do not like Diet Coke that much, but I'll drink it when it's available.
Right on. What's up?
I'm doing well. Been busy, obviously. I'm ready to get right into this. I know people in the chat room are like, let's get to the point. So I do have to mention real quick before we get started here, there is one thing I need to mention, and that is, I'm going to get it over with right now. Robbie is coming to NoDQ.com very soon. I promise you guys, Robbie is on his way. He's coming, and it's going to be a fun time once he finally arrives.
All right. Shout out to Colin the Cleaver Andrew. By the way, he is working tonight in a 128-degree kitchen. He is the chef. I feel bad for him, but he's making money. All right, topic number 1. Like, I feel like some of these AEW diehards really, really need to yank that knife out of their gut. Blame NHL hockey. I don't know what was on last night, but Dynamite went way down, 761,000 or whatever. But the reason why I bring up AEW first, because they're wrestlers. We're having some issues with Jeff Hardy, who got arrested again. And I remember not so long ago, he walked out of his match in WWE. I think they offered, hey, go to rehab or whatever. And he said, no, I'm fine. More like he was not happy with the company. He ended up leaving, whatever. And there was this, new life. He's excited to do wrestling again. And that's at least how we were hearing it through AEW fans, through Jeff Hardy. Well, here he is getting arrested in Florida for driving with no license, intoxicated, DUI, whatever it is. And it's not good. I mean, we all know what happened with him and Sting in TNA several years ago. And it just seems like he just falls off the wagon. And it sucks because, he could have got help in WWE. Now, Big G,
yeah,
I don't blame, these people that are saying, Matt Hardy enabled. It's
Right.
hard. It's hard. Like, unless you're, giving them a drink and telling them to drink, it's hard to keep somebody that's traveling away from alcohol. You can tell them not to drink, but it's everywhere. Like, especially
Right.
life as a wrestler. Nobody's enabling him. I really think this comes down to Jeff just needs to go seek the help he needs. So people
Yeah.
like calling anybody else out other than Jeff himself, I don't
Right.
agree with. This is all on Jeff Hardy. What do you think?
I mean, I don't want to say it's sad, but like it's just, we don't know what kind of pain they go through when, especially Jeff Hardy when he takes all these bumps. And I don't know, it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just I don't know. It's just messed up, We know he's had this history with the alcoholism before, and we know he's gone to rehab before and stuff like that. And yeah, we know he left WWE on bad terms, and they offered him to go to rehab, and he didn't want it. He refused it, and now he's in AEW, and he's taking all these big bumps and stuff like that. And we saw that everybody saw the video footage on Twitter or TMZ or wherever you get your media entertainment, and we saw him the night before doing his concert thing, whatever, and he was drinking and whatnot. And like you said, nobody put the drink in his hand. I mean, yeah, somebody could have, there could have been a fan or somebody there offering him a drink, and Jeff could have said no. Or, the responsible thing would have been, okay, I'm drinking. Let me call an Uber. Let me do whatever. Because he knows that he can't drive, and he's done this before. So there should have been no excuse for him not to get an Uber or Lyft or whatever, or even a taxi. I mean, like when I drink occasionally, I have a beer or two here and there. But, when I went out with friends and stuff like that, back in my heyday, we'd go downtown and stuff like that. And we wouldn't drive. We would, take a taxi home or take the subway, not the subway, but like the streetcar home or whatever, or the bus even, So there's no excuse that this should have happened yet again. But like I said, we don't know what kind of pain he's going through. He's got a wife and 2 kids, so he's got to think about that too. So I don't know. It's we could give our opinions and say what we have to say about this, but like I said before, we do not know what's going on in Jeff Hardy's head. And the people who said like Matt Hardy saying that Matt Hardy enabled him and stuff like that. Matt Hardy knows what his brother's going through. So there's no way that Matt Hardy would, I know Matt Hardy left, afterwards or whatever, but still, like.
Yeah, those people are full of crap. I
Yeah.
mean, that would be the same type of people that would say Renee enabled Moxley. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's just silly. All right, JJ, what do you think here, man? Jeff's done so many crazy. I remember, I think it was the No Mercy in '99. That ladder match is really when I saw crazy Jeff Hardy and the Hardy Boys just really come out of their shell. So do the math. How long has Jeff Hardy been doing those crazy stunts in front of crowds? Like 20 years, and he's hurt. What do you think here? In alcohol, people drink to soothe, especially whiskey, which he admitted to ease the pain. What do you think, JJ?
See, I'm an interesting person to discuss this one because for many, many, many years, I was a Jeff Hardy and a Hardy Boys fanatic. And then I want to say it was around the time of the Hardy Steen Victory Road match when he came out completely gone. And can you even call that a match? But I basically denounced my fandom of him right then and there because he needed to get better. And that was over a decade ago. The bottom line when it comes to Jeff Hardy is, there's the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. Jeff needs to want to get the help on his own.
Yep.
Sending him to rehab, pushing him and telling him he needs to. It's not going to work until he decides that he is ready to hang it up and do right by himself as well as his family. That's the bottom line right there. And unfortunately, I don't know when it's going to become enough for Jeff. I don't know what that breaking point is going to be for him, because you would have thought that it would have happened already.
That's true. And the thing is, you see these repeat, offenders doing stuff like this. Like, look at Sunny, and you just think of what the worst could happen. And look what happened with Sunny. She didn't hurt herself, but she was in an accident that ended somebody's life because of God knows what. And you just see Jeff Hardy doing this stuff. Jimmy Uso, not good. Walter, I know there's nothing positive to say here, but you got any different thoughts, or you agree with us like Big G tends to do? What's your outlook?
I'm pretty much on the same line. It just sucks and it hurts. Like JJ, I was a big Jeff Hardy fan. I had the sleeves, all that, the shirts. I never denounced it because I felt like you should always separate people's personal lives from what they do on screen. But I mean, getting behind the wheel is just so irresponsible. And he's reached the status and the money where I said this yesterday, where he could have got a bus. He could be touring on a bus, and then I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing to relapse or to drink, but then if you did relapse, at least you're not behind the wheel. It's not so much that he relapsed that's the biggest thing, is that it gets behind the wheel, and then that is the irresponsible thing of that is you're not putting your own life at risk. You're putting everybody who's on the road at the time that you're driving risk. I mean, like you said, look what Tammy did. I mean, she tried to change it and said the person had their own medical issue, and then that's what really get them. It's not what she did, but that's neither here nor there. But you know, when's the end of the line when Jeff does the same thing and really kills somebody, gets a head-on accident? It's just, you hear over the years of all these things, of all these people passing away and all these wrestlers dying before 50, and I just, as a Jeff Hardy fan, I don't want to read that from him, but I feel like it's gonna happen if he doesn't get it. But the first step to anybody's rehab, to any drink, to any road to recovery, is you have to admit you have a problem, and we can't force upon him. He has to admit he has the problem. Obviously, he doesn't want the help. WWE offered it to him. It's almost like with the WWE, he got offended because he passed the test, and he got offended that they automatically assumed he relapsed, and he didn't want to go back. And it's like, there had to be a reason they offered it to him. And WWE kind of dodged the bullet, in my opinion, because they offered him the Hall of Fame. Imagine the publicity the WWE would be getting this week if he got arrested. The Vince thing happened, and it would have been hell for WWE. So,
and think about this, Walter. Think of all the crazy stuff Hardy has done to entertain the fans over the years, and it's even more now. Look at how crazy just a general match is, and you got to think this goes through. How can I still be Jeff Hardy and be above all of this? And he's trying to keep doing it the way he's always done it, if not crazier. And when you're hurting as a wrestler, as an athlete, you resort to these things. That's what your demons are called, man.
And WWE might have saw it coming, because if you look at the kind of matches he had since he came back, look at the difference of where he went in AEW, where he jumped right into these hardcore flying off. He wasn't doing it with WWE. So maybe they saw this coming.
Yep. Aaron, any thoughts here?
I'm thinking JJ's had his hand up for quite a while now. And Walter's like, I got to get all my thoughts in before JJ Williams can speak.
It's okay. I just wanted to piggyback on one thing that Walter said there. He mentioned about how you have to separate what happens in the ring and what they do in their personal life. And 100% I'm with you on that. But that's part of where my turning on him back at that Victory Road thing came into play, because he brought that into the ring. Mm-hmm. You could clearly tell that he was not physically able to go, yet he still came out there. Yeah, they called an audible. Yeah, they shut the match down real quick like they should have. But he should not have even been able to come outside of that curtain. And once again, he was allowed to. You want to talk about why the ratings were down so much this week? We lost a triple threat ladder match that the Hardys were supposed to be involved in as a result of the Jeff Hardy thing. People were looking forward to seeing the Hardys in a ladder match again against the Young Bucks. Yeah, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus were going to be there also, but people were like really jonesing on the Hardys Young Bucks in a ladder match.
And they did push New Japan down everyone's throats Wednesday night, too. That might have turned some people off. Well, NHL hockey. Back to you, Aaron. So I didn't see your hand up earlier, JJ. My bad.
No, it's all good.
I do agree with Mo Camera about Jimmy Uso. I don't think that there's any excuse, and nobody should be drinking and driving, and everybody should be held accountable, and that includes Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
I don't think Jeff Hardy should be wrestling anymore. He's in his mid-40s, and he's going out there. He's having to be Jeff Hardy. He goes out there, does the Swanton Bomb on steel steps. He was booked for a ladder match this week, a guy in his mid-40s. He should get out of the business. I don't have a problem with him maybe traveling and doing meet and greets and that sort of thing. But as far as the physical aspect of it goes, I think he should step away, get himself clean, and not wrestle again. I really think this should be the end of his career as far as the in-ring performances go, because people know him for doing all those high-flying moves. And if he goes out there, I'm not even sure he can modify his style. Like, he has to be Jeff Hardy. I think he should just bow out and let fans remember the good times and focus on his family, focus on his own personal life. And I don't want to see him become another wrestling tragedy. And what happened the other day very well could have been tragic. Like, he could have very easily killed somebody.
He can still make money doing meet and greets and Comic Cons and stuff like that, like wrestlers do. Like, there's still ways to make money without having to do the work in the ring.
He has music as a backup
career.
too. He has music as a backup. Doesn't he have a band? Doesn't he sing? Doesn't he? Yeah. But then again, we all know music and drugs too. So I don't know. That's not safe either.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're necessarily putting your body as much on the line. I mean, obviously, anything you do where you're performing, that takes a lot of energy. But professional wrestling is a very physical industry, and guys are wrestling beat up and hurt. And I just don't think he should be doing it when he's the kind of guy that goes out there and wants to do crazy stunts like he's 20 years old. Like, he just can't be doing that.
Yeah,
it's gonna end.
I meant
bad.
more with the music. I meant more it's not good because the environments you would have to play in, because the drinks will be there. Sometimes you have to play at bars. Sometimes, so that's more the environment. Is what I meant.
I think that some of this may stem from all the physical punishment that he takes. Lance Storm talked about this the other day, brought up how it's how wrestlers self-medicate. They're beat up, they're going out there, they're working hurt. And Virtue, we were talking about this earlier with what guys do in today's wrestling. You see it in AEW, you see it in WWE too. Where are these guys going to be that are doing all the crazy stunts right now? How are they going to be 10, 15 years from now? Like, it's not good, man. And I think another problem too is that there's always going to be the temptation to book somebody like a Jeff Hardy, who has legitimately been one of the top superstars in the industry for over 2 decades. People are always going to want to hire him. Wrestling promoters, like, if they just stopped giving him work, maybe he would step away. But promoters are going to want to book him and use him for shows. And Tony Khan is even offering to bring him back if he completes rehab successfully and is clean. But I still think it's going to be the same thing with him. Even if he gets clean, he's going to be going out there, taking bumps, trying to be the Jeff Hardy of 1999. And it's just not going to end well, in my opinion, if it keeps going. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, do you think prison will straighten Jeff Hardy out? It depends. Each person is different. Everybody has their rock bottom. And I don't know what Jeff Hardy's rock bottom is. I mean, maybe this was it. Who knows? But for some people, it's jail. For others, they lose their family. I mean, it just depends person to person. I
To piggyback
suppose.
what you said about Tony Khan offering him, that's the other problem is people keep dangling the carrot at the end. You can come back. They have to take everything away. It's like,
Yep.
no, we're done for you. We're done with you. Go get yourself clean. Don't promise him anything. I think that's part of the problem because he always says, I got a chance to come back no matter what. You have to like cut it off. When he sees that he's hurting his family, he's hurting himself financially, maybe then he'll finally realize I got to get myself clean. Nobody's going to offer me the chance. You got to like stop dangling that carrot in front of him.
Yeah. Look at Scott Hall. Scott Hall was having all those issues and promoters kept using him. WWE brought him back despite everything that happened in WCW. And then they ended up firing him a couple of months later. But they brought him back, and Impact Wrestling brought him in several times, and people just kept using him. And I feel like every time Scott Hall got back into wrestling to some degree, he started having problems again. Even after he was with DDP, he had his slip-ups. So it's just not a good environment to be in if you're somebody who's predisposed to drinking and you have a problem wrestling with all the, not just the party lifestyle, but also all the physical punishment you're taking. It's just not a good combination.
Right.
Well wishes to Jeff Hardy. Hopefully he will crack down on himself and get help he needs, take time off. But moving on. So speaking of like putting your body on the line for years of business, Randy Orton has landed a lot of RKOs. And we know what type of move that is, where he comes crashing down onto the mat. His dad just mentioned that it seems like he's got a legit back injury and he's out. We're going to just say indefinitely. So with that said, Randy's getting up there in age. He's proven a lot. Take the time off, get right. But what does this mean for Matt Riddle, who was red hot with Randy Orton and RK Bro? Riddle's getting that title shot against Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Is this the time for Riddle to shine, at least as like a upper mid-card semi-main eventer? So, JJ, I'm going to come over to you. We've spoken on this already multiple times. We all have our ideas what could be great for Riddle. Well, how about Randy just take the time off, get healthy if he is indeed hurt, right? Seems like it's legit. And then if they want to finish telling a story with those two or putting them back together where Randy can have light work down the road, push Riddle up as a singles competitor. When Randy comes back, now you got legendary Orton, Riddle, who's been on the rise. You could have something interesting with them. Continue to do what they've done, or maybe have that feud with the two, which ultimately I think would be a great way to end the relationship. Or like Aaron said, I think you said this, don't feud them. Just have them go both their separate ways down the road. And for once, we don't have like that type of a split up, but I personally would like to see that. What do you think here, JJ? Orton out, this is the door that opens for Riddle if he's going to be something in WWE. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. I think Riddle needs to take the complete opportunity that's being presented to him here. When Randy comes back, you do have that feud, and you can have Riddle hold some animosity. Be like, dude, I carried RK Bro in your absence. I kept our name in the fans' mouth. And you're coming back and you're getting handed title opportunities at major events. I barely got one on SmackDown. How and just all the animosity and jealousy of trying to keep the brand going for RK Bro. They need to make more stars. It's something we've been talking about with WWE for a very long time. They rely in their same, we'll say, top 5, in their upper echelon, and they never make the new stars that they need to until somebody gets hurt, until somebody retires. And you've got all these people right there that are just scratching to break through to the next level. I didn't really know what to think of Riddle at first when I first saw him, but the more and more that I've seen him, the more legitimate and badass he's been being presented.
No,
And
JJ, let me
slowly
ask
but
you this,
surely-
because there's some people out there that absolutely hate his gimmick and hate the way he perceives himself. But how can they hold that against him when he is? I mean, would you agree? I think everybody here would agree. He is damn good in the ring and can work with anybody and adapt styles. Like, would you agree with that? He's entertaining bell to bell. There's not many wrestlers I actually care about the wrestling match. I want all the other stuff. He's one of those. I'm watching the match, and it's the way it flows. He comes from underneath and then does that stuff at the end and explodes. But he's exciting to watch.
Yeah, you know, this may sound like an odd comparison, but his gimmick and the way he's kind of being presented as of late kind of reminds me of Festus, where he's kind of goofy before match. You know, he's talking on the microphone and he's doing the whole stoner bro shtick, but as soon as that bell rings, it's all business. He gets in there, he dominates, he's badass, then that bell rings again at the end, and it's like, what up, bro? You know, it just kind of goes back to the goofball a little bit. But as soon as that bell rings, man, it's on like Donkey Kong. And you notice they've slowly been kind of weeding, pun intended, the stonerness away from some of his promos, had him getting a little bit more serious, especially with this bloodline feud that he's been doing. Nothing but good things coming for Riddle, I think, here.
Yep. Now, Big G. This Friday, SmackDown, this is going to tell me a lot. We know he's not winning a title.
Right.
But let's see how long this match is, how many close call. Like, you know, I'm usually not for that style, but this could determine a lot for Matt Riddle on Friday, even if we expect, you know, he loses like we expect.
Right.
What do you really think is going to happen out of all this? And don't forget, like, too, somebody in the chat said, is Randy Orton's, you know, injury serious or legit? Well, you know, Cowboy Bob said yes. Okay, he's a worker. Old-time wrestlers are workers. Randy could still be set to face Roman at SummerSlam, and this is just the way to make it seem like a shock when he comes back sooner than expected because we think he's really hurt. I'll believe it. You know, if he doesn't come back for the next several months into late in the year, I'll believe that it's legit.
Right.
But what do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, so we, like you said, everybody knows that we know he's not going to win the title tomorrow night on SmackDown. I believe the match should be, let's see, 9:30 to 10, and you got the commercials in between. So you maybe got like a 20-minute match between
That's
the two.
That's a good length, though, for a SmackDown.
Right, it is. And, you know, we all know that Roman Reigns has a lighter summer schedule. So we know he's not going to be at Money in the Bank. So we know the next time that the title to be defended will be at SummerSlam. And I guess originally Orton was supposed to be the opponent for SummerSlam. But here's the thing. Riddle could win by disqualification and get another title match at SummerSlam. And then we know Clash at the Castle, I'm sure Drew McIntyre will have his shot against Roman Reigns. But yeah, I mean, I've liked Riddle since he started in NXT. You know, he's like the cool stoner guy, and yeah, we all mocked him being a wannabe RVD. But JJ even said it. I was thinking it too. Like with this whole bloodline thing going on, he's become a lot more serious on that mic. You know, and in the ring, he's always been great. So whatever happens with Riddle, I mean, they just need to strap that rocket to him and just let him go.
He's good in the ring, man. Like I said, there's something about him that reminds me, and not of RVD, of HBK.
Yeah.
Can't explain it. Don't know if it's the hair. There's just, it could be the way he comes from underneath in the matches. But Walter, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with all you guys. I mean, if there ever was a all right, kid, let's see what you got moment, this is it right here. Orton's out. You're carrying what you got to do, then Riddle should go all the way. Riddle's interesting to me. I mean, I like the stoner part, but if they could just get rid of saying bro every other word, it'd be okay. But it's like you can take him serious, and then they'll say bro, and then it just like screws it all up. But he's been getting a lot more serious time on the mic. He looks aggressive. We all know he's not winning tomorrow, but I do want to see where this character can go. Like maybe put him on after he loses that, maybe put him on a little losing streak, which makes him change his character. Like I got to do something this isn't working. But that's just my hope, because I don't want to see him do this gimmick forever. I want to see the badass MMA Riddle. Like, I got into Riddle and it made me like watch his MMA fights, and like this dude is legit. Like, he's really, really legit. I don't know if anybody took the time to go to YouTube and like watch his fights. This guy is legit. Like, he's really good at jiu-jitsu. He's really good.
He once held a UFC record of most strikes landed in a fight.
Yeah, he's brave. He goes. He like stands in the middle of the octagon. It's like, you want to go? Let's swing. And I mean, I just want to see that. If you're gonna do a faction and keep him in some kind of team, I do want to see a form of an MMA badass faction. Like, even if it's Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Riddle. I mean, that would be a dream come true. You imagine all that together? That'd be very entertaining. But we got to see if he's gonna drop the ball. They're giving it to him. Let's see what he can do.
Yep. Now, Aaron, so Randy being off, if he's legit hurt, right, take the time, come back. It'll be special when he's back. Would this not be a trip for Riddle on SmackDown tomorrow night against Roman? Remember what they did with Jericho and Triple H on Raw way back in like 2000?
Yeah.
Just if they could figure out some way to, like, oh my God, Riddle won, and then don't like do the Earl Hebner thing like verbatim, but just to have that little tease like that could be a good one, because that actually showed, I think, Vince McMahon in the office that Jericho could be a main player, and eventually a year or two later he was. But I'd like to see something exciting, even if it's a tease with Riddle, because they need to try to push somebody at this point. They're losing wrestlers left and right. What do you think, Aaron? And I know some super chats came in.
That would be interesting, just to test the waters. Do like a little Dusty Rhodes style finish where Riddle wins, but the result is overturned or something, just to gauge the reaction from the fans and see how they would react. This could be a great opportunity for Riddle. Now, with that being said, I'm not expecting anything to really change as far as plans for SummerSlam. Let's see. We have Dwayne Atkinson sending in a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. He says, just because for my buddy JJ, glad to see you tonight, homie. Hope you're doing great for your debut. Happy to have JJ on tonight. Thank you for being on. And Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat, says, who faces Roman Reigns at SummerSlam now? Maybe Bobby Lashley or AJ? I'm thinking it's probably not going to be Riddle, as much as people would like to see Riddle get that opportunity. And I would be fine with it if Riddle won by DQ or something on SmackDown and they follow it up with SummerSlam. But I get the feeling like Bobby Lashley will probably get that spot. Has Bobby Lashley faced Roman Reigns yet for the Universal title since Reigns won it?
I don't think so. He ended up fighting Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's going to be AJ, though, because AJ's involved with Judgment Day right now.
Oh,
so
no.
I don't...
I feel like Bobby Lashley is the most likely candidate to take that spot for SummerSlam if I had to make a prediction. But Riddle getting it, I would be totally cool with that. I think that would be a great opportunity for him. Give him a chance to run with the ball and turn a negative and possibly turn it into a big positive. If Riddle can live up to the hype of being in that main event spot, you might have a new star in your hands. And then when Randy does come back, you got some options as far as maybe splitting them up or perhaps even keep them together for a little bit longer. Like, you could definitely go in any direction that you want to if you can build up Riddle to that top main event level. Gives you a whole new wave of opportunities, not just for Riddle, but for other people that get in the ring with him. You have all these new potential matchups you can do. And could Riddle even be the guy to beat Roman Reigns and win the title? Like it could open up a lot of doors if that happened, but we'll see.
Gotta be willing to make a new star, or at least give someone a chance. And I know, dude, Riddle's in his mid-30s, but that's usually WWE's wheelhouse of pushing somebody as well.
Yeah,
opportunities don't always come, and you got to take advantage of it when you get one.
For sure. Hamp Connell sent in a $2 super chat, says, the night Randy comes back, have Riddle betray him. Well, it depends on how the storylines play out, but I mean that that is certainly a possibility if Riddle gets frustrated. I mean, we'll see what they do. I'm definitely curious to see where this goes, but my gut feeling is nothing's probably going to happen as far as Riddle getting that SummerSlam match. I would be surprised if they change direction. I'm thinking it's just going to be somebody like Lashley stepping into that spot at SummerSlam.
Health-wise, with RK Bro to respond to that, I'd rather see them stay together because it'll be better for Orton's back. You can stay out of the ring a little more, make Riddle do the bulk of the work, and then you come in for the finish, and it won't be, health-wise, it won't be as much on Orton's body.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's see here. JJ, go ahead real quick.
What about Edge for the next opponent for Roman?
Didn't Edge already face Roman Reigns a bunch of times?
Yeah.
Yeah, but things have moved on. Edge has had that change in his character since then, and we don't know where that character is going to lie now that he's been booted from Judgment Day.
It's always a possibility.
When all else fails, triple threat it or something. They'll like throw Lesnar and Edge and Roman Reigns in a triple threat. You know how they are when they panic.
I just thought about Brock Lesnar. Like, where does Brock Lesnar fit into all this? Maybe, they could do something like a triple threat match with Brock Lesnar and Edge or Bobby Lashley. Ooh, that would be an interesting triple threat. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Bobby Lashley. And Reigns has to defend both titles. Like if Bobby Lashley pins Roman, he gets the WWE title. If Brock Lesnar pins Roman, he gets the Universal title. They could do something like that and possibly get one of those titles off of Roman Reigns.
Like they did back at one of the WrestleManias where wasn't it somebody
Jericho,
was like
Benoit, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, thank you.
Intercontinental US or Intercontinental and European. That was pretty stupid though.
Yeah.
This is the danger though of not pushing multiple stars and getting people. You gotta make new stars because then when stuff like this happens, you got nobody as a backup. Like God forbid, because I really don't want to see this. What if Roman gets hurt? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
like you gotta push people.
Well, hey, I mean, he wouldn't be making many more fewer appearances than he is now.
Exactly.
All right, let's see. We do have a few more super chats. Dwayne Atkinson sent in $5. Thank you, Dwayne. Says, could Drew McIntyre win Money in the Bank and have an honest cash in prior to the Clash at the Castle pay-per-view? Ain't seen that in a while. Well, he already called his shot, so why does he need to win Money in the Bank? He already declared himself for Clash at the Castle.
Yeah,
I'd rather see Rollins win Money.
Yeah,
in the Bank.
Rollins or Riddle or somebody like that. A
well,
heel. You want to see a heel win Money in the Bank.
Virtue. I just thought of this. I think they said, didn't they say that Riddle's only getting this one shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
One opportunity.
Why?
Maybe that's a clue. Maybe Riddle gets screwed in that match. He's got to win Money in the Bank as the loophole to get a second opportunity.
Think about this, if Riddle has Money in the Bank, if he won Money in the Bank, when he, if you cashed in on the opportunity where you know you're winning it, that crowd would probably go nuts. Like, oh my God, we're gonna have a new champion, somebody different. So that could work.
Well, if they book this person properly, Gunther, he could face Roman Reigns down the line.
I think it's too early for it. Well, yeah, maybe.
All right, we got another super chat here. Psycho Jet Black, no Ricochet joke this week. I guess since Gunther destroyed him last week, there's no need to make fun of him. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat, says, in WWE, you have to get over with both the fans and Vince to get a major push. But if you're not over with either, your career is dead in the water.
And I'm telling you, Riddle is over with Vince. And if the fans seem like they're starting to latch onto him, boom. That's why I've been behind this Riddle. Robbie's going to debate me on this. And as time goes by, Riddle keeps slowly moving up the ranks. I can't wait for this debate, man. Because it's everything's coming into my favor for this.
I get the feeling Riddle makes Vince laugh or something.
And they're not just pushing Riddle. He's been a tag team division with Orton for a year. Like, it's slow. You know what I mean? He was U.S. champion for a minute went on to be like, it's not like they're just instantly pushing him. They're trying to maybe go more the old school route and slowly make him a main eventer. And again, could he sustain it? Does he need a character tweak? Perhaps. But I'm telling you, bell to bell, he captivates people.
And it helps that he's a legit badass in real life. So,
and they could portray him that way if need be. Aaron, any other super chats? Because I'm really excited for this next topic.
I think we have one here. Yeah, we do have one. Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Says, how about Roman Reigns versus Seth freaking Rollins for the undisputed title in Survivor Series? Franklin Rollins, 10th anniversary celebration. Oh yeah, that is the 10-year anniversary of the Shield.
Rollins and Reigns anytime. Perfect. Do it.
They got
unfinished business. The last one ended.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't even think about that. That's good.
I was going to say someone else I was thinking of that's definitely over with Vince and is getting over big time as a heel that I think would be a solid Money in the Bank briefcase holder while we were talking about it is Theory.
Yeah, Theory would be a good choice to win it.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're going to give him the Cena crutch. You know, we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, that's another guy that's impressing Vince McMahon.
Yeah. You know, Riddle is because Riddle's doing all the comedy that Vince loves.
Yeah.
If you could do that,
and he's had these weird, he's had these things with these women, and yet he still gets pushed. And we're going to talk about the news that we're hearing for Vince McMahon. It all makes sense. I mean, I'm serious about this.
That's a hell of a segue, Virtue.
The business world is crazy, and Riddle is there, and Vince. Look what Vince McMahon, like he allowed the plane ride from hell to happen. Okay, so are we? Any other super chats, Aaron?
No, but yeah, Vince McMahon. We
don't have to talk about this too long. Our main event's going to be the alleged news on Sasha Banks. But
Virtue.
Yes.
Virtue, real quick. Building Nexus said with $2 and thank you, says, how about Sami Zayn for Money in the Bank? I've seen people talk about Sami Zayn going babyface to face Roman Reigns. The thing is, like, he's been at that lower level doing the comedy for so long. I'm not sure I could buy into that, but what do you think?
I look at Zayn as like SmackDown's Miz. That, you know what I mean? Like, and Miz got the title, right? And, you know, some people call it a joke or whatever, but just that intercontinental, comedy / serious if you need to be like that. That's kind of what I look at Zayn, like the level of Miz. Not in a bad way.
If they push Zayn, I would love it. But you're right, Aaron. It would be hard to take him serious because of how he's been portrayed for so long.
Right.
Anybody else?
Anyways,
I'm ready to talk about.
It'll be like R-Truth get a big push out of nowhere. It'll be like that.
All right, let's talk about Vince.
Okay. Allegedly, right, in the last few years, he slept with a paralegal, someone that was working for WWE, and she got paid off not to say anything. This is all alleged. Like, so I'm looking at this like Vince McMahon owns a majority of WWE stock. Not half, but like it's a majority, and his voting power is like ridiculous. It's his company still. So nothing's going to happen to this guy unless he's embarrassed and wants to sell it. So just so everybody knows, Vince McMahon, where did this $3 million, if he did pay this lady off, if this did happen, if he paid this off out of his own pocket, he's allowed, like, whatever. If he used company money and didn't report it to the board, now we got a problem. That's what the investigation is. We have no clue. Okay, I don't care about potential infidelity. Rich people do this. I don't think him and Linda have probably slept in the same bed, just my guess, in years. This is how the world works. Vince is married to his job in WWE. I'm not shocked by this. It doesn't make me disgusted by this because it happens. It's just part of life. Question is, what are we getting here legally if Vince paid this lady off with WWE money and tried to make it look like an expense? Like, that's where it could become an issue. So we're all speculating here. JJ, would you like to add to this? Because I'm telling you, people like Russo, Jim Cornette, that just kind of like had bad relationships with WWE once they were gone, although Cornette went back for some Hall of Fame stuff. they're having field days talking about this stuff because they love the conspiracy. They love when Vince McMahon is reeling. I'm intrigued what's going to happen out of this because I feel like Vince McMahon, nothing can harm him. He beat the feds in the 90s over steroids when he had less money than he has today. He's not afraid of anything. He beat WCW when they were kicking his ass. I don't think Vince gives a crap other than, is it a blemish? Sure. Is there a reason why Stephanie's gone, Shane's gone? What do you think here? Because, it's a conspiracy at this point because we don't know. But, man, the corporate America world. It's crazy, isn't it, JJ?
Yeah, it's definitely a head scratcher on this one. I mean, like you said, the main thing is where's the money coming from? Did it come from his pocket? Did it come from WWE's bank account? Vince McMahon being alleged of infidelity and being a pervert and whatever. In other news, water is wet.
Yeah.
This is stuff that we've heard about Vince for years, just never at this level. And you're right, he allowed the plane ride from hell to happen. You've got to reel it in at some point. The key that I've been wondering about is, like you mentioned, did the Shane thing, the Stephanie thing, all kind of stem from a little groundswell about this bumbling under the surface? Initially I thought Stephanie walked out and resigned her position because of the Naomi and Sasha thing, which I know we're going to get into Sasha here in a little bit. But now with this news coming out, it's like things that make you go, And then Laurinaitis being brought into this.
That's right. We got a good old Johnny Hayes.
you know,
Scapegoat, JJ. He's
Yeah.
going to be the scapegoat.
He's totally
Yeah.
going to be the scapegoat.
Oh, yeah.
But at the
Dude.
same time, is pushing him out such a bad thing? Like, a lot of people were like, why is he back in the first place when
That's
he
true.
came back? So, okay, so now we've found a reason to get rid of him again. Golly gee, sorry, Johnny Ace, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah.
It's controversy creates cash. Bischoff said it the best. The other big thing that I'm thinking about here is if they're looking to sell in the near future, how much does this taint the value of the company with everything that's going on here as of late? I mean, it seems like the whole infrastructure is starting to crumble.
Well, with the McMahons, but you got to remember, during this whole thing, the last few years, the timeline's weird with this. Nick Khan has come in and been like, I said it on Twitter, he is the 1B to Vince McMahon's 1A. And I think they would entrust wherever he takes the company. So this is just very, very strange. But I think if this forced Vince to sell, the thing is, I don't think he can take his hands off of being a wrestling promoter. Perhaps that the corporate world is just getting too big for Vince McMahon and he couldn't resist temptation. Big G, you're happy to be here for topics like this, aren't you? This reminds me of like a Bruce Wayne, but the problem is Bruce Wayne was always single, never married. So he could do whatever he wanted and still had control of his company. They could never boot him out, but he wasn't married to Linda. You know what I mean? Vince is married. As far as we know, he's still legally married. And this is like, it's infidelity if it happened, and paying if he used WWE funds secretly.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, we talked
problem.
about it. I was on Greg's show yesterday too, and we talked about this for a while. And whether it be his money or WWE's money, whether you're married, you're not married. Well, if you're still married, it's still effed up what he did. But it's Vince McMahon. He's a big time celebrity. Celebrities like this do stupid things like this. But I mean, you guys all made good points, but it is a publicly traded company and somebody has to take the fall for this. If this alleged thing does, come to fruition, it'll, like we said, everybody says it's going to be John Laurinaitis. And Vince has so many scapegoats that by the time, I don't know.
You got fleas, Big G?
No.
Okay.
I'm just,
just
my back was.
Harley and Joker up there.
You need that back scratcher.
I
thing,
need the
like one of
back
those big old
scratcher, yeah.
long things. Yeah.
But yeah, we just have to see how this plays out and see what happens. I mean, this only broke out yesterday, and it came from Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
And you know, how this gonna, you know, you're a big, you're always into the stocks and stuff like that when it comes to WWE. So I wonder how this is going to affect the stocks in WWE, and you know how this is going to.
We'll be monitoring them. They always take a hit when they change like financial executives and stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't know. We're gonna have to see because they're on upward momentum. So in the next month, if it's dipped down a little bit, then there could be some concern. But
right.
I don't know, man. Walter, you're smiling here, man. This is like Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the character. Like this, Russo said this is the stuff that should be played on TV. The Sasha Banks drama. This is what would get ratings back to 3 and 4 million people. And you know what? He is absolutely right. If you look at reality television, Walter.
It is almost like the character. I'll tell you who's doing backflips is Tony Khan. This took the heat off of the whole Jeff Hardy situation.
That's right.
He's like, whew, like right now. He said, yeah, keep talking about this. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out there was a joke I read on somebody's Twitter or on NoDQ here that what if it turns out that the Khans are related and this is all a big ploy? And that was hysterical to me. But I mean, this lady allegedly took the money, so I mean she did her part and took the hush money. So it's like you said, it depends on where the money came from. That's the only issue. The only issue is that and morals. But to me, I hate to say it this way.
Listen, Walter. Vince has to be smart enough. He's had Nick Khan there all along. There's no way he could be dumb enough to have pay off somebody to shut up with company funds that weren't just in his personal bank account. So I am interested to see how this breaks and all that. Like, because there's no way he could have been that stupid.
No way. There's so many loopholes of what you can write as tax write-offs too in the rich business world, and this is the norm in business world. I hate to say it like this, but it's the norm with celebrities when there's money involved. Things like this happen. So it's just whether it's all about your morals and whether that's all that it comes down to. The only court he's really going to get in trouble is moral court, in my opinion.
And he's Vince McMahon. I think he's
already
a long time ago. So Aaron, I see we're at like 150 viewers at one point. Holy Sasha Banks and Vince McMahon. All right, your turn, Aaron.
Yeah, people were talking about Al Capone, so let me read off this super chatter. By the way, Walter sent $2 as we were talking. Say yes to no DQ. Yes, say yes to no DQ, and spread the word. If you're enjoying this debate and discussion, please share the link to this video on your social media accounts, TikTok. Make sure you follow Big G over there. And any site you use for discussion, let them know about the No DQ review. We're here every Thursday night. We got episode 200 coming up. Cheap plug. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, the government took down Al Capone to the tax evasion. That is true. And that's, I think, the only way that Vince McMahon could truly be taken down without dying would be if something came out that he was a tax cheat. But again, is he really
federal?
The government wants their money.
He beat him once already. So
he took on the United States.
Vince could think he's invincible, which could become a problem at some point. It catches up with you. That could be a problem, but.
Or you get so old, you slip a little.
Yeah, he slipped.
You mentally make.
Wait. Did he slip or did that paralegal slip? Somebody slipped.
Nobody's talking about her. You know, it takes two to tango. She accepted the money, so everything's like Vince. Hey, she took the money.
Well, I mean, this is all alleged information.
It's alleged, but hey, it's news and it's nationally. So
let's talk about stuff now. I mean. This very well could die down in a couple weeks. Maybe more information will come out. If no more information comes out, I think that this will be forgotten about in a few weeks until there's the next big story. And by the way, the whole Sasha Banks possibly being released thing, interesting timing with that too. Now people think that maybe that was done on purpose to get people not talking about Vince. Like, I feel that this will die down if there's no more information, and it will be business as usual. Now, if there continues to be heat, then yeah, John Laurinaitis might be the one to take the fall. The game is on 100, sent in a $2 super chat, said Laurinaitis has taken the fall on this one, not VKM. Now, if more information comes out, then who knows what's going to happen. But I cannot imagine Vince McMahon ever resigning or stepping down. Like, even if he was accused of murdering somebody, I feel like he would not step down from the company. Like, I just don't see him as that type of personality. Like, he is going to win at all costs. Yep. He's Vince McMahon, damn it. And he's going to come out on top no matter what. I just don't see him giving up his spot, selling the company. And I still don't buy that they're going to sell the company while Vince has a say in it. I
see what you did there, Aaron. He came out on top.
Exactly. And yeah, I think we're caught. Are we caught up now?
I'll tell you one thing.
Wait.
I'll tell you one thing.
Tito,
if this was the 90s, what Tito say? Go ahead.
Looks like the Bella mother could not satisfy Johnny Ace.
Wow.
Allegedly.
I'll tell you one thing. If this was the 90s, after it died out, 100% guaranteed this will be a storyline. It'll turn right into a storyline.
Because Russo knew what people wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, JJ.
Can we just talk for a minute about, we touched on it, but can we just get in depth here about how this was broken by the Wall Street Journal? It wasn't Frightful. It wasn't Uncle Dave up in Northern California. Like, it wasn't TMZ. This came from the Wall Street Journal.
Because it had nothing to do with wrestling, right? It was actual company potential scandal. So they don't sniff for stuff like that.
No. What was it, a leaked email or something, right?
So supposedly someone on the board is where maybe it would have had to be. Someone on the board would have had to leak it to the Wall Street Journal or something. So again, is it true? Could be just a bunch of.
Hey,
there could be someone on the board that doesn't like Vince. Allegedly. Aaron, any other super chats before we talk about the potential departure of Sasha Banks?
Yes, we do have another one here from Sticky B. He sent in $5. Thank you. Says, hopefully Vince McMahon and the dynamic dude both get ousted. Love the show, guys. Well, thank you for that. Dynamic dude might be. And people are talking about Kevin Dunn, too, like because of stuff going on with the stocks. People think that maybe there was some inside trading going on, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know if anything's going to happen with Kevin Dunn. I think that might be blown a little bit out of proportion, but we'll see. Like, anything can happen.
If they got rid of Kevin Dunn, I wouldn't mind because I'm sick of seeing this when somebody's getting hit with a chair.
Wait a minute. Do that again.
Stop. Whoa, Aaron, you're going to induce seizures for our epileptic fans? That's not cool.
Look, you do have an epileptic on the panel, just saying.
See?
My bad. All right, let me get to this other super chat. Johnny Boy sent in a $5 super chat. Says, is it safe to say Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are winning at Money in the Bank? And who is facing Roman Reigns at SummerSlam now? Well, Johnny Boy, we did touch on the whole Roman Reigns SummerSlam potentials earlier on. I think Seth Rollins is winning. At least I think he's the best choice. Becky Lynch, too, because she's kind of on this downward spiral right now, and I feel like her winning would get her back in the mix, and she can tease cashing it in. And, the idea that the couples win the Money in the Bank contracts, yes. I can see that playing out for sure.
Remember, we still got to get Ronda and Becky at some point. So when you win the briefcase, right, you can go to for any champion.
I definitely see Seth winning it. And I like Becky being the chaser instead of being the holder of a title.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. We got another super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. He sent in $2. Says, Vince McMahon comes harder than Robbie Vice. You got proof of this, bro? Allegedly. Anyways.
It's main event time, Aaron?
Yeah.
All right. So Sasha Banks, it seems like her attorneys are trying to get her out of her contract. Have they successfully done it or not? Is she gone, released from her contract? Seems like that's what's going to happen, right? We're all talking allegedly. And here's my take. JJ, don't let the door hit you on your booty on the way out. I'll be called sexist for saying that. You know, if you want to go try to like, good, bring it. If you want to go try and be in more TV shows for Disney, you want to try to go work with Tony Khan and be the rising star that AEW's women's division needs, go do it. But you're not going to do it as Sasha Banks, which is really what makes you famous beyond the 100,000 niche diehard wrestling fans. So, Sasha, you should have just done your job, went out there, jobbed to Rousey, got back in your tag team with Naomi, and carried on your way instead of acting like a diva, bringing divas back to wrestling and acting like you're some superstar like Hulk Hogan was in his heyday. It's a business, and I say leave. Like I would release her, let her go, don't worry about her, find the next Sasha Banks. JJ, what do you think? And I'm not saying she wasn't a good. I'm not saying she's a great wrestler, but like I don't know. Sometimes their egos get huge, and I don't think your ego in wrestling. You can't do the Hogan or the Cena or the Lesnar until you're there. She was never up there in that spot. Maybe this is her way of saying I should be, but I don't know, man. I think you let the fans down. What do you think?
I definitely feel that the way she's handled this all, she did let the fans down. You know, the flip side of that coin is that specifically with her role in The Mandalorian, you know, Mercedes Varnado has made a decent enough splash using her real name that by departing from WWE and then whether she becomes All Elite or she goes to Impact or she goes to something a little bit smaller like the NWA, she's going to do fine on her own. Maybe she doesn't want to do wrestling anymore at all and she wants to take herself to Hollywood. You know, I feel like she'll do fine wherever she lands, but she definitely didn't handle things the proper way, the way she should have. You know, no one individual is bigger than the company. And that's totally what they are trying to prove here with the way they're handling the Sasha situation. They've barely addressed her, you know, and even mentioned her since the departure. So they're totally making sure that people forget about her.
And here's the thing, like JJ, like she's had her runs at the top. I know she was always like famously for winning a title and losing at her next title defense, but she's had big moments. She closed WrestleMania Night 1 a couple years ago. And it's not like WWE didn't like at least kind of get her up in a star, but for whatever reason, they didn't like give her the Becky treatment or the Roman Reigns treatment. And I think that's what she thinks she deserves. So I don't know, man. Do you think that Sasha, if she thinks of herself that way, do you think that that's right? Just because she was in a TV series for Disney. You know, I don't know. How big can your ego get? Pretty big in entertainment.
Ask Hulk Hogan. Ask Hulk Hogan how big your ego can get. I mean.
But he also did draw. Did she ever draw?
True,
I mean,
true.
There's been times where people have showed her segments grow a little bit or whatever. I mean, good-looking woman. It should.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really watching during the rise of Sasha Banks and the Four Horsewomen. I was kind of on my hiatus during that time. I think that everything that Sasha thought she was, Bianca Belair now is. And I think that could be part of Sasha's problem, at least from where I'm looking at it.
Good point. And they still kind of treat Becky as a big deal. And Ronda is there, and she probably doesn't like that, coming in and swooping glory and championships. All right, Big G, your turn.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. I mean, JJ made some good points. I don't know what else to really say. It's just wherever she goes, she'll do fine. Let's be honest. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Whether it be back on The Mandalorian on Disney Plus or
Which, by the way, Big G, Tito wanted to mention she was only a tiny piece of that Mandalorian. And again, it's a big deal for a wrestler, though. Yes, Jay.
I saw that comment, and I wanted to address that real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ask The Rock about how being a bit player in The Mummy Returns turned out for him.
Right.
Good point.
Right.
All right, Big G.
Good point.
Yeah, that was another good point, JJ. I mean, look, I don't know how big her ego is, or we don't know. Like I said before when we were talking about the other topic, but we don't about Jeff Hardy, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes other than what we see from Aaron's website, from the people on Twitter and stuff like that, from their news sources. We don't know what's going on in their head at the time, when all this stuff happened. We just see what we read. So like I said before, we can give our opinions, we can say this, we can say that, but if we're not there in person, like I said, we don't know what's going on with them physically, mentally, personally. So I mean, like I said, Sasha will do fine wherever she lands. So
there you go. JJ Tito countered with, well, Rock was a main event star. I like this debate that's going on here.
Yeah, but Tito will never actually appear on camera.
I concede the fact that Rock was a main event star at that point, but Sasha has the look. She's got the image, the personality that is desirable by Hollywood. She may not be main event level like The Rock, but she's got all the other factors going for her.
And all it takes is the right person to see you. No matter how small the role is, all it takes is that right person to have seen it, the right director, the right anybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, heck,
I want her.
Amber Heard,
I mean,
got in movies. You know what I mean? So if Amber Heard could get into movies, anybody could.
If she was on a Disney Plus show in the Star Wars universe, there's so much that can open up for her from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Walter, your turn.
Yeah. Everybody's saying how successful she'll be no matter where she goes, and but no one's thinking of it from the business standpoint. What if this reputation follows her? And AEW might want to. I mean, they'll do it for the money, but what if they'll be like, yeah, but what's going to happen? Our here comes the marks. They're going to come after me. Our division isn't the best. Our women's division isn't the best in AEW. So what's going to happen the moment she becomes unhappy in their division? She's going to walk out on them too. So your reputation precedes you where you go. So I don't know about automatically assuming she's going to do well. She might do well in movies, but AEW might be like, all right. Or they might put a clause or something in their contract. You can't just walk out on us when you're not unsatisfied.
I wonder too, Walter, if doing this, she thought once WWE didn't bite and just said, you're suspended, go. I wonder if she was like, because she was maybe expecting them to cave. I wonder if she was like, oh, you don't really? You don't think I'm that?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what, like, I just.
Me too. I was thinking that too. It's just, I don't know. I don't agree with just walking out because it's selfish. Because everybody's got to change what the plans were. You can't just walk out. That the people are dependent on you. It's not just the fans, but the other. It's disrespectful to your coworkers and the rest of. I say people with regular jobs. Would you want two people to just walk out on your job and you got to take on their work and everything else? You wouldn't have the same goal that you have for her, and it's because they're famous wrestlers and you're like, oh, she's standing up for herself. Yeah, put that in your personal life. If people got up and walked away, you would hate their guts.
Someone in the chat's like, what's all the hate on Sasha? I don't know. She has a track record of being a diva. Like at this point now.
It's a bad word, Virtue.
It just
diva.
And it's
the
second time she did it over the This is the second time she did it, and she was a tag champion when she did it the first time.
Look,
she lost. She lost it and then walked out because they lost at Iconics.
And think about the kids, the girls that dress up like her, that go to the event and see. She walked out on her fans, the kids especially.
Yeah.
And Tito mentioned that
Yeah.
as well.
If I paid to come see you specifically and showed me, like, you got to think of how many times did Ultimate Warrior do that and everybody bagged on him. Now Sasha gets a pass. That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Because you're sticking up to the man.
Good stuff. All right, Aaron, over to you in the super chats. I think we're getting close here.
All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, I could see WWE forgiving Naomi because of the Usos. Well, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, my prediction was that Sasha would probably be done with WWE, but Naomi would end up coming back. And I still stand by that. I think Naomi will be back at some point. Sasha, however, I'm not really surprised about this news, and I expect her to be gone. And if she's not happy, let her go. Right. Give her a release. Let her do other projects. Like, she'll probably end up in AEW. Let her go. I mean, I think Sasha's really talented, but I do think that she does give off a little bit of that vibe where she crosses that line. Like, it's good to be confident. Confidence is great, but sometimes I get that vibe that she goes past that and gets into the arrogant category. And it kind of gives off a little bit of a bad taste, but she is very talented, no doubt a big part of WWE's women's division, and it'll be a loss for sure if she goes, but it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to really change anything. People acting like this is the end of WWE if Sasha Banks goes. That's not the case.
They'll just push Bianca Belair harder. Becky will get her run back at the top again. Charlotte will be back.
There's always some other spoke in the wheel, yeah.
You'll get Bayley back too. So
and if she's unhappy with WWE's women's division, wait till she gets to AEW.
All I know is we're talking about all these hot topics this evening. I see a Meacham and Tito war in the chat tonight. I don't even know what it's about, and I'm missing it because I'm doing the show. Wow.
Right. Yeah, I think that this Jeff and Tito thing could turn into something. But with Sasha Banks, she's a great performer, but WWE has a lot of talented wrestlers. However, most of them are expendable. That's just the nature of the beast. Everybody, with a few exceptions, are replaceable. And people largely tune into WWE because of the brand. That's how it is in this day and age. Same thing with AEW. People watch because of the brand, not for any one specific person. You do have your fans, of course. Certainly on Twitter, you have your fandoms. They do exist, but I think the wheel is just going to keep turning. Bret Hart said it best. With Vince McMahon's WWE, they're all a bunch of circus acts, and once he's done with his toy or done with his circus animal, he moves on to the next one.
And then Tony picks it up.
But true. Yeah. And then Tony Khan will sign them.
Brett left, Hogan left, Razor Ramon left, Diesel left, WWE kept going on. So
yeah. And if Impact Wrestling can survive all this crap and WWE is highly profitable, like I hate to say this because, I might jinx them. Maybe people want it to be jinxed, but I feel like WWE is in fact too big to fail.
Impact Wrestling are the cockroaches of the wrestling business. They're never gonna, no matter what, they'll survive anything.
Yeah.
Another great show, guys. Aaron, are we caught up on the super chats?
Yeah, I think we are. Mr. Tito, the door's always open to come back and be on a debate. I'd like to see Jeff Meacham versus Tito. That would be fun.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at my phone. I'm like, yeah, that's.
I just like reading the chat between them.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to pop some popcorn for that one.
I don't even know. Like, I saw some Tito comments earlier because I read them off about what we were talking about. I don't even know what happened between the two. Like, I couldn't keep up with any of it.
I couldn't catch up.
I just knew I saw one talking about the other and back and forth. But this is the time of the show where we'll go through and do our plugs. Maybe we'll get out of here in time. Maybe it'll turn into NoDQ after dark. So, JJ, glad you were on your first review. You're always welcome back. Go ahead and do your plugs.
Well, before Aaron throws the graphic up, let me just say thank you to all you guys for having me here.
Absolutely.
Aaron, it's been a long time. Virtue, thank you very much. G, always a pleasure.
Yep,
Walter, pleasure. As most of you guys know, I'm still kind of getting back into the things wrestling wise, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Renegades Reviews, the Casa D18 Studios channel. I've got a bunch of content coming up the rest of the month. I've been doing movies with only one sequel. So tomorrow I've got National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets. Saturday, White Elephant. Sunday is a show I have called The War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, where I show off some of the newest additions to my ever-growing movie library. Monday is Mortal Kombat. And then at the top of the following hour, myself and Jeff will be back, both on my channel and the Jeff Meacham Network, with an all-new episode of Ask the Dads. Wednesday, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Thursday, I've been covering the Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So much to come for the rest of this month on the Casa D18 Studios channel.
All right, good having you on, man. Big G, you're laughing and giggling over there. Go ahead and
I'm
be your
just
Going
fun.
after
these
Mr. Tito
comments.
hard. Yeah, people going after Mr.
But
Tito.
as always, I am happy to be here. It's always a pleasure being on with Aaron, Virtue, Walter, JJ. You can follow me at nodq.com/bigballg. That'll take you to my Twitter page. If you have TikTok, if you don't have TikTok, you can follow me there at bigballg1988. That's where I have my cat videos at. And that is it for me.
Cool. Happy man. All right, Walter, over to you.
Well, thanks for having me up here again. Thanks for adopting me into the NoDQ family. I'm the simplest follow of everyone here. I just have a Twitter, and it's at Walter Alex Cruz. Simplest one
There
here.
it is.
Thanks for being the fifth guy tonight, too. You spoke up, and I said he's on tonight in our chat. All right, Aaron, over to you, and I think a couple super chats came in.
Oh, Jeff Meacham wants to come on and call out Mr. Tito. We actually have another comment on here. Let me get to that one. We have a super chat that was sent in just a moment ago. Billy L. I'm not sure if this is a Jeff Meacham burner account or if somebody actually doesn't like Mr. Tito. Imagine that. Imagine being an insecure man-child to the level of Mr. Tito hiding behind a mask.
I don't know about letting Jeff
To
Jeff
his
join
credit, but to his credit, he has been on video and he's presented his voice, not distorted. He has done that.
But this would
Right.
be me and Jeff on the same video would be Aaron's worst nightmare. We would have to compete who could get the most words in.
Very true. Let's see. We got Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. Says, will JJ buy Jeff Hardy? No, let me try that again because that didn't sound right. Will JJ buy a Jeff Hardy poster to rip up again? JJ?
Probably not.
Would you buy a poster just to burn it on the air?
If he's willing to fund the poster, then I will buy it to burn up on the air.
There you go.
Is there anybody out here that can eat 50 chicken wings?
That's a lot.
I think the most I've done is like 15.
Yeah, I think I could do like 15 maybe. All right,
15 or
anyways.
20. Yeah.
Jeff Meacham sent in $2. Says, great show and bravo, JJ. See you all for Slammiversary. Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
It is. It's this Sunday.
That's right,
I'm
it's already
shocked.
June.
I'm shocked that people still talk about Impact Wrestling. Like,
Yeah,
I just
there's a
don't have the time to bother with it really. And I know like I'm supposed to because it's my job and all, but it's just too much, man.
I mean, it's the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling. You know, who thought they'd make it past 5 years, let alone 20? So,
Yeah.
I got an early birthday gift. My wife just came home, got me another PlayStation 5 controller. But she
All
buys
right.
it in her favorite color. So
TNA's
is this my
been-
gift or hers?
Impact/TNA has been around longer than WCW was, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Wow.
telling
If
you,
you're
Impact is
talking
the
about
cockroaches of the
Earth
Here's
wrestling.
the
there.
thing.
Yeah.
They're the
Man.
cockroaches. They'll survive anything.
More super chats there, Aaron, I think.
Yeah, Johnny Boy sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Johnny Boy. Says, with SummerSlam, a Money in the Bank and Clash at the Castle, do you think that Roman Reigns will actually hold the belt until WrestleMania? I do not. I think Drew McIntyre is getting it at Clash at the Castle. I don't know if he's winning both titles, but I think Drew McIntyre will beat Roman Reigns, and I think they got to change it up with Roman's schedule. If Roman did not have the part-time schedule, then it'd be harder to say that he's going to lose it, or harder to say that he's going to keep it. But I do think he's going to lose it to Drew.
See, I don't have a problem with that, Aaron, because of where it's at and Drew getting that moment, especially what happened with him during COVID. But, like, how do they present Drew after that when he's back over here? And does he get boring and stale? And, that's just –
Virtue, maybe it's a 1997 scenario where Lex Luger beat Hulk Hogan for the title and then lost it right back 6 days later.
Well, because there could be a Money in the Bank lurking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on if The Rock is really penciled in.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. I don't even know what to say about this one. What other toys does Vince and Johnny share? Well, maybe they like the Ricochet. They like the Ricochet. Matt Riddle scooter?
Did you say Ricochet?
No, the one Johnny Ace used to go around in, that motorized cart.
Oh yeah.
Vince is getting older now, so they probably both go. They share that. That's their toy.
The whole power of the people. The power of the people
here.
scooter. Yeah.
They ride that together. All right. So on that note, we are caught up. That was a fun stream, guys. JJ, a pleasure to have you on. You guys check out my personal channel, youtube.com/Aaron Rift. JJ was on when we talked about the Beatles. If anybody missed that live stream, you can check that one out. We got to do some more on there. Do some non-wrestling streams one of these days. Virtue, maybe a Zelda one, perhaps, in the future.
Yeah, I'm always game for that. I have debates lined up too. Colin, Robbie once he's back. So, it's not like I'm putting that off. It's just, Aaron's a busy man. Like, we have to go by Aaron's schedule too.
And Big G with the cats.
The NoDQ debate's coming back. And maybe we'll get a return of Mr. Tito and versus Jeff Meacham. I know ultimately everybody wants to see me and Tito again duke it out, but maybe it's time to get some fresh matches.
I'd love to debate you too, Virtue, depending on the topic.
Yep, there you go. All right, Aaron, are we caught up?
Caught up.
All willing to do anything, debate anybody. I love it. All right, so follow me on Twitter if you dare at NoDQ_Virtue. Go to NoDQ.com/merch and check out all the great NoDQ merchandise. And of course, I don't know, in a couple of months, we are going to have episode 200 of the NoDQ review where you, the NoDQ Galaxy, will be the moderator for the entire episode, bringing up the topics via Super Chat. That's all I got to say for this week. It's been a pleasure for JJ, for Big G, for Walter, and for Aaron Rift. I am Virtue, and I will see you next time. Heck, we'll all see you next time. Good night.